guys, they have made a change to the start, and now we get a storehouse when we start out in the game. So that is amazing news. So what I would like to do is show you how you can start, and you can do this everywhere. But the dynamic may change dependent on, like, if you're starting in a forest as opposed to a desert, then you're probably not going to need to build a pond right here. If you are, let me go ahead and sell some wheat. So I'm going to have to do some wheat sales in order to get myself started. In the meantime, if you had, like I say, it depends on your dynamic. I'm not using NFTs in this example. If you had NFTs, you could be selling feed instead of that. And if you're in the forest, you won't need a pond. In the plains, it's up to your assessment, but I would still probably start with a pond, and that way it's easier to grow trees. So this needs 2 water right now. I mean 1 water right now. So as soon as this is built, it won't need any water. And like I say, this is for the desert example. But so he's using water for that. So I'm going to go ahead and put another well. You really can't have too many wells, because when I put trees here, they're only going to be getting 4 water each. So they'll need to be watered, and I can put more wheat, like right here and right here, if I choose to, and then we'll have plenty. Hopefully we'll have plenty of trees and plenty of water. If not, I'll have to add more, but I can probably wait until I'm actually, although it may take a long time, actually selling the flour. I might have said wheat, but I'm just selling wheat temporarily to get enough funds to get. I'm going to have to plant a couple of trees and get a lumberjack so that I can have wood to make the flour, and also the wheat to make the flour. So that's where we are. Hopefully this is not too boring. I know a lot of you, or most all of you, probably already know how to make flour, but this is just for the new start on what to do. So we're going to see if we can start in the desert, no rivers or anything. And I do not want to delete that oil seep. To me, that's one. Well, there's 2 reasons why I start in the desert. One is to take advantage of the oil seep, so you don't need any oil pumps, and you can create all the energy that you can use. And the other reason is that there are no trees and things to have to clear out. These cactuses are 10,000 to remove, and there's not that many. There's probably about 4 or 5 rocks that will end up having to be removed by end game, but they're not. It's not a desperate move. This is pretty clear around the oil seep, so building your refineries and a pond and water pumps and everything is not a big deal. So anyway, that's what the plan is right now, though, is just to get some flower production going. And if you were starting in a forest and you were like, well, flour is good, but sugar sells for more, or you know, if you're by a ocean and you want to do salt, then that is everybody's personal choice. I'm just showing you a possible way to get this town going. And so what I want to do right now is I want to add some wheat fields to this, and I'm going to put trees here, so I don't want them there. Of course, it wouldn't be that much of a loss in money from 250 to you get 63 of that back, so almost $200 is the loss, but there's no need to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let me see here. 1, 2. Okay, so I can put one there and not bother anybody. So I'm going to go ahead and put another farmer, and so I'll be collecting, like I said, I want to collect some dollars and get enough to build a windmill. And what I'll probably want to do though is I don't want to just collect 15,000 and then build that. I'll probably collect more like 20,000 before I actually want to build that. But also I'll plant a couple of trees. I might have to get a couple more wells and possibly a couple more farmers so that we can be sure that they expedite these trees, so that when the windmill needs trees, it has them. And I'll need at least one. Let me see. 1, 2. Let me see. 1, 2. I can't put it there. So I'll probably plus. You don't want to put anything in the wind block of the windmill. So I'm probably going to start doing, take advantage of the fact that I'm in the desert and these little tumbleweeds don't cost anything. So probably over here, I'll put a piece of road and start putting, pieces of road and building the structures that I need, whether it's farmers or lumberjacks or whomever. And anyway, I'm going to start this does not give wind block and this does not give wind block. So those give pollution, but you can't pollute a windmill. So, that's the plan. And I'll be back here in a few minutes and you won't even know how long it's been. I'll be back. Okay guys, so what I have decided to do is go ahead, let's see, 1, 2, over. I can't plant here because of the storehouse being right there. So what I want to do is add a couple more wells, and the reason why I'm choosing 2 is, well, there's a couple reasons. One is I think that I'll probably need that many, and the other reason is because I had two extra pieces of wood. So when I build that windmill, I will end up having 5 pieces of wood, and so that's like the perfect amount. I'll have my trees going at that point, and so it'll be all good. Only thing is, if you didn't want to put 4, and if it turns out that I don't need 4, and you see this, you might be like, well, I'll just put 3, and then I'll have enough wood to put another farmer without having to have a lumberjack involved. That's fine. However you want to do it. I think this is going to work um, really well, though. I think that they have just, by giving us this storehouse, I think the burden of starting a town has just been removed, and it's no longer a burden. It's just a matter of knowing what to do, and I'm showing you what to do. And if you want to change it to be the flavor that you like, then that's perfectly acceptable. Just know that there is a way, and if you can make that way a better way, that's even more exciting. So anyway, I think I'm babbling at this point, so I'm going to keep going, just letting you know I'm adding a couple more wells. I don't know that 2 are necessary. If you're doing this in a forest, you don't need any wells, any extra wells. And if you're doing it maybe in plains, it depends on how you've got things set up. You may or may not want to do anything different. And also, just to make it clear, we could have instead of putting a pond there, we could have just skipped a spot and put a pond here, and then all 3 of these spots would have 4 water. So you could have 3 trees and that get 4 water, and then you could put your wheat around that, and then it would get 2 from the one next to it, and then 1 from the one across from it. So if I put a pond here, I could have wheat here, 3 trees, have wheat here, wheat over here. I really couldn't do it here because of all the buildings, but you could figure that out. Like I say, there's a bunch of ways to do this. I'm just showing you one way, and so I'm going to keep I'm going to sell wheat maybe 1 or 2 more times, get over 20K, and then I'm going to go ahead and start building my I'm going to go ahead and put my trees in, and what I'm going to do is, we don't want our guys to focus solely on these trees, on watering them. So, and they might not even water them at all while there's crops to be picked. But if we get another farmer, I think might take 2 farmers to actually get past that. So right now I can kind of experiment with that and say, okay, well, if now that they've dropped off the wheat, I think one's going to get this wheat and one's going to water the tree. Okay, so and the reason why they do that is when they're ready for work, and they're ready after they drop off or after they water or whatever, then they see, are there any crops that need to be picked? And if there are, they go and pick those crops. And that's why grapes can be a little tricky sometimes. If you're growing grapes, whether or not they bring the wood depends on if you have more grapes that are just sitting there needing to be picked. So they'll pick them all and then put wood on them all. But if you've done grapes, you kind of got a feel for how that works. Anyway, so now that, see, it's going through a cycle. They're going to have to pick these. Then if this one's ready, and it will be, then probably one will pick that and one will water this tree. That's why I didn't want to do both trees at once. So anyway, you can figure out what works best. If you need to, you can delete a wheat field. We already talked about it only takes like 200 $200 to delete one and then add it back. But just remember, if you're going to delete one, you want to do the one that's sort of the farthest away for them to have to walk. You wouldn't want to delete this one. So we just need to keep that common sense thing going. I know everybody probably is, but okay. So I am about to cough from talking. So you know what I'm doing. I'm going to get one more wheat cell, and then I'm going to actually go ahead and put in a lumberjack and a farmer so that I can get more. That's only got 5. So what I'm going to do is, after they pick this wheat, I'm going to delete this wheat field, and if I have to, I can delete that one. Like I said, it's only temporary, and then I can go ahead and get my trees planted. I need another tree here, but I want to get this one growing first, and go ahead and put a lumberjack and another farmer, at least one more. I'm probably going to end up with 2 farmers. Luckily, though, they have not increased the price of farmers. Now, doing all this little nitpicky stuff, even though it doesn't cost much, like $300 for that, it adds up. It adds up. So see, we're back down to less than less than 20,000. So what I'm going to do is, I can go ahead and add a farmer, and because I haven't, I'm going to add 2, because I haven't actually, what am I doing? Sorry about that. Started building my windmill yet. So now I am below my 5 wood that I'm going to need, but if the farmers are actually working like they should be, that won't be a problem, because they're going to get this watered, and then I'll build a lumberjack that can, and I'm down to 15K now, or less than 15. So I'm kind of going back to I'm waiting for about 20K to build my windmill. But if you notice, we still got 32 gas left. We're not in any danger zone. I think that that wheat, not wheat, excuse me, flour, when we sell it, sells around 22K. It's been a very long time, and I don't know if they've changed anything, but used to, it was about 22K. Now look at that. We've got our first tree ready, and I'm going to go ahead and plant the other one. So now our lumberjack's going to be busy with these trees. We've got our farmers doing the wheat. We should have plenty of wheat, and I might even, once we're doing the flour, I might want to delete one of these, but it just depends. If they're keeping the trees up well, then there's no real benefit. If we have too much wheat and it gets destroyed when they're picking it, that's not really a big deal. We just want to always be sure that we have enough, because we will be getting more windmills, and so therefore if we have excess wheat, it won't be for any appreciable amount of time. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. I am going to sell wheat one more time, and this guy should pick this wheat after he waters that tree. So that'll be 10 wheat. So I'm going to go ahead and actually we're only 130 minutes, so I can go ahead and do that and just show you guys. See, we're up to 4 wood now. We've got another tree that he's picking. We're going to go ahead and create our windmill. We've got 2,000, and I'm going to go ahead and sell wheat one more time. And now, as soon as that windmill gets built, I'm going to start it making wheat. Now, the plus side to all of this is that we've got this wheat production going, so that this should stay pretty full. So if any time during the process where I'm transitioning from selling wheat to selling flour, if I'm like, just, you got to watch your funds, and it will start flashing on your last minute. And I think I'm close enough that, yeah, I'm only 37 seconds away. If you want to see, sorry about that music. I just got in a spot that is in the desert and close to town. So, sorry about that music. That is like crazy stupid, and I don't know how to turn it off. I have gone into my advanced options and turned the music down. I don't know how to turn that stuff off, so I've got it down low. So I don't know when you go out into that other area. Okay, so we've got $4,700, and we don't really want to sell. We've already sold wheat 10 times, and so we don't want to sell it any more than we really have to. So I don't want to sell right now, because if we look at 13 goes into 47 at least 3 times. So I think we've got at least 30 minutes worth of and that's just off the top of my head calculation. So if that's crazy wrong, I apologize. Let me make sure that my skins are turned off. Is that the way I guess that's the way yeah, all my skins are off. I don't have any NFTs down. So just so you guys know that this is doable. Now we're going to make flour. It only takes 5 wheat. So I don't know if you've noticed, and if you watch some of my other videos you may, but sugar cane takes 6 and salt takes 6. Flour only takes 5 wheat. They all take 3 wood. So flour is the least expensive, but there's a couple things. One, you start off making wheat, and you have a farmer and a silo and wheat growing, and 2, it is easier to grow. Now salt only takes 3 water, but it needs to be by an ocean. So wheat is by far easier to grow, so you get the least amount for it, but that's alright. It's enough to start, I believe, in the game. That is my belief. And I think that if we need to, we can add another lumberjack, but I don't think we're going to need another one until maybe we get another windmill. Now this setup with all the all the watering that's going on, all this business, this is not going to be long-term sustainable uh, for a town, but it is going to be enough to get us a couple of wheat sales. And like I say, I could probably put, if I do 1, 2, 3, I could probably put another, extend this road, put another windmill over here, and he's going to have just a little bit further to walk, but it's not horrible. So you can kind of figure out where you want your stuff, but in the desert, like I say, it is easier to remove the obstacles. That's 300 for that, and 300 for that. It's only 600, and then building the road out is another maybe 3 more hundred. 3,000. So for $3,600, I could get set up to put one more windmill right here. So that's, in my opinion, that's pretty cheap. And look at that, we've already collected one flower. So anyway, I'll be back. I'm going to let this run for a bit, and like I say, if I get low enough on funds, I am up to 180 now. So I was like 130 when I was doing my calculation. So 2 goes into 4, 2 times, and let's see, that'd be 100, wasn't it? And so I think we still have about 20 minutes of running money, because this is the dollars that it costs to run your town for 1 minute, and this is the number of dollars that we have. So all you do is take, for those that aren't like really math savvy, you just take this number and divide it by this number, and that tells you how many minutes that you can run. And like I say, for us, we're very close to town, less than a minute. If I get down and I'm about to run out of money in a minute, this will be flashing red, and then I know to sell wheat. But that's not going to happen, I don't think. I think we're going to be fine. But we do want to kind of keep an eye on the wood situation. I think it's doing actually really well. So this is kind of coming together the way I imagined it, and it's pretty simple and straightforward, but this is the easiest build that I think I've done in quite a while. So hopefully this is going to work. I haven't tested this before, so we may get down to the end and need to build our gas production and we can't do it, but I honestly do not foresee that type of disappointment. I think we're going to be fine. So anyway, I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to let this run, and like I say, the goal is to sell flour. And I may be calling flour wheat, calling wheat flour. I don't think I'm doing it that way, but I may be calling flour wheat, and you know what I'm saying. It's we use the wheat to make the flour, and that's what we want to sell. And if you let's make sure that my memory is correct. Okay, so 22.5. So that's what I was thinking, about 22,000 for selling wheat, and I think we can definitely survive on that. If we did that, if you did 30 times 20,000, then that would be 600 dollars, and of course over time you still have to keep your town running, so keep that in mind. But if you look at that, I think that we would be able to definitely get some sort of gas production going for that price. And what I like to do is, we'll talk about that when we get to it, but I like to build like a pond, and then make two pumps that go off of that, and then off of those pumps we'll have power plants. But in the middle of the two pumps we need a refinery for gasoline, because it takes two water, and if I looked at that, I'd probably go this way, only because of this. I have more to clear out, and I don't want to have to clear out a rock in the beginning stages, so probably go this way. So then I've only got one cacti, and I've got these a few scrubs, but I can get away with putting some wind turbines around, and get some workers and a warehouse, and just do my power through that, and have let my refineries. In fact, I might go ahead and set it up that way. We're going to have at least one wind turbine, and a warehouse to collect the energy, and a worker to fetch the energy from the wind turbine to the warehouse. And the reason is because to build a power plant you need energy, and B, you need lumber to build a power plant, and you can't make lumber without energy, because the lumber mill needs 2 energy and 4 wood for each piece of lumber. So and I'm sure most of you already know this stuff. I'm just saying it in case, this is going to be the new starter video. So for those of you who haven't played, I'm trying to give you a little bit of explanation, and those who have played, I ask for your patience, because I know that kind of stuff can be boring when you already know it. But anyway, and there's always comments that you can leave, and so if I need to make another video that's more elementary to start, then that's fine. But I think this one's going to explain it all, and if you need to, just fast forward through it a little bit. Alright, so I am going to let this run. I'm only on 3 flour, so it's going to take a few minutes, and I'll be back. Okay guys, I did not plan spectacularly well. You see, this is flashing at me, and so I think everybody has decided to go home and stop working. So what I'm going to do is sell wheat one more time, and then when I get money, they'll go back to work, and we'll get this last bag of flour produced, so that we can sell flour. And then I might sell flour again before I actually start or put the other windmill, our second windmill, in place. But what I'll do is once we have all that money back, I'll go ahead and set up this place where I'm going to put it. I'll prepare that spot, and there's no need to do it right now, because that's going to cost more than what I have. So these guys are going to finish up, uh, and we'll be selling flour here in the next minute. I don't want to make too long of a video, but then I don't want you to not see the flour sale or whatever. And I thought these windmills were red or something, but I was mistaken. I guess it's been so long since I've seen them that I did not realize that they are sort of a tan color. But that's alright. I like it. So we're making our last one. Alright, so this won't take too long, guys. And you can see our first wheat sale. Flour sale. We've actually had to sell wheat 11 times. So that's not great, but it's not horrible either. Okay, so we just got our flour. He just delivered it to the storehouse, and now we will definitely have enough cash to continue making flour, and I might wait until depends on what the cash situation is looking like, on whether or not I go ahead and build this windmill. But I will actually I can start this because he's coming back with our cash. There it is. Alright, so what I'm going to do is set this up so that we can build another windmill right here. And the reason why I chose that to come that far down is 1, 2, 3 empty spaces. I think these take 3. I might be mistaken. I might could have done 2. If I could have done 2, it's probably better for you to do that, but I don't remember for sure. I want to say these are 3 wind block. Okay, so anyway, so I'll remove that. So right here we want to put another windmill, and if I do it right now, I'll still have $6,000 dollars to run on. But if you notice, these where is it at? Oh, wait a minute. Alright, so it used to tell you, yeah, there it is. Okay, sorry about that. $50 a minute. So that would be, would put us up to $230 a minute to run our town. And I'm not sure if it would speed us up that much. Actually, it probably will, but it may also mean, though, that I need another lumberjack, which is going to cost us worst case scenario, I have to sell wheat again, but the another lumberjack will be $2,500, and so we really don't want to get a lumberjack, but it may turn out that since we have we'll have a little extra, we'll have 5 extra wood, that even if we run out, we'll be okay. Might ought to make a road that goes from here to, well, that would be a temporary thing, and it will cost $2,000. So right now I don't want to do it, but that actually could be, or come this way, and then he'd be in between the two windmills. But that's something. Things like that are considerations for making your town more efficient, even if it's sometimes temporary or whatever. But right now we've got a budget that we need to maintain, so we're not going to even worry about that. Alright, so I will come back and let you know what happens, if anything happens. Otherwise, we're planning to, once this little jinky gets 5 wood over here, I'm going to turn this on flour as well, and so we'll have 2 making flour. So anyway, we'll see how this goes. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I got the other windmill going, and I've got some personal business going on today, so it wasn't like right away, right when it was built. I didn't start it. If I had, I'd probably be a little further along, but we did fine on money that time. So just so you know, and like I say, if you're starting in the forest and you didn't have to build this and all that kind of stuff, you could have built your first windmill right away and started making flour. Just built that and added a lumberjack. You know that you can sell some of the pines that you don't need in that situation. So you could probably, if you start in the forest, you probably start with 2 windmills right away without any difficulty. So this is where we are right now. It seems to be going pretty good. We still got 7 wood, so if you consider it took 5 to build that, he probably put a couple in there when I didn't have this going. But at the same time, that wood is there if we need it. If it turns out that I need another lumberjack, I can add one, and if I need another tree, I can put one. Only problem is with the trees, if I'm going to put one, I probably want to put a pine somewhere, so that, like if I put a pine here, then these 2 would get 6, and this one would get 2, 3, 4. So then those would just need 1 water, and then this one would need 3. But I am not planning to go that route. What I want to do is just sell wheat some more, and flour, excuse me, I keep saying that, and go ahead and make a pond here, and then I want to make 2 water pumps and put a refinery here. And if I put a power plant here, the other refinery I can put on this side of that, and it would touch the water pump, and it would also be close enough to get to energy from this power plant. However, that's going to do for pollution, right? So it would pollute all the way up to there. So really, our best bet, if we're going to put anything over here, would be a warehouse for collecting energy and a lumber mill, because then the lumber mill, it only does two. So if we have a lumber mill here and in either one of these spots, and then this is our water pump, then we'll be good to go. And the power will be here eventually to give enough power to that. So I'll lay this out in a little bit, but that's kind of where we want to get started. So we're going to have $20K to build the pond, and I probably will go ahead and come back and show you each piece that I built. And then we want to build the two water pumps. So I don't think I need to get farther than that at this time. So that's $20,000 for that, and then it would be $50,000 for each water pump. And what I can do is, if I do go ahead and do the pond and one water pump, if I went ahead and made one refinery, which if this is going to be gas, since you can start and stop them on any product that they do, it won't matter. We could go ahead and turn it on and let it be creating some petroleum. Okay, and then once we've created maybe about 10 petroleum, we could shut it off, and if we have like another water pump here, then we could turn it on and make gasoline. The only downside to that is that making gas takes 6 electricity or energy, and I like to have a power plant in place or by the time I'm making gasoline, but that's not a must-have. But what we can do is put a piece of paved road here, and then that will be for the power plant and for the refinery. Okay, so that will save us $10K, because just one piece of paved road will be for those two. And so yeah, that's where we're gonna start. And our other refinery eventually will be probably over here or right here, but we don't need to worry about it right now. If you are doing a town where you don't have an oil seep, like the forest, then you don't have to kind of anchor yourself to a particular spot. So what you're going to want to do in that case is just going to be pick out a spot that is away from where you want to grow your crops and things, and but also has a place to that doesn't have to be cleared out so much. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how you're going to do the analysis when it comes to in a forest or a plains. And if you look at my forest and plains start, then you can kind of get an idea of the places that I've done the gas production, where I've set that up, and to me it makes sense. If it doesn't to you, then modify it however you need to. Okay, so I am going to stop this for now, because this is probably going to be way too long already, and that's my my plan. I'm going to put a pond here and a water pump here. Those are going to be my next steps, and I think just for simplicity's sake, uh, that is enough to say. And so I'll be back. Okay, guys, I changed my mind about what I'm doing next. You know, I was thinking about how long this is going to take. So what I'm going to do is make another, what do you call these? Hold it. Am I making that too far out? One, two, three, and then, okay. So what I'm doing is going to make one more windmill to make flour, because look at how much wheat. We're not really going through the wheat. We've got that wheat production ramped up pretty good, and so this is just going to speed us up a bit. Okay, so I want to go ahead and, oh, let me cancel that. That actually put me down. Well, that's all right. I only need to, I'm not going to cancel that. But I'm also probably going to need to create another, you notice we're running low on wood. I'm going to need another lumberjack as well. You know what? Let me cancel this and go ahead and make another lumberjack and get the wood production. So what I decided to do was make some little road pieces over here. So I made one at the edge, so I've got 3 out of that. And so now I could put a building here, but I need a road here. And then this road will provide a road for this, and this. And so I can remove these scrubs and put buildings. Right now I don't need to remove them, and since we don't want to waste any money unnecessarily, I'm not going to. Okay, so this may be a good thing and it may not. It depends if these farmers can keep these trees growing fast enough. Like, in other words, it might not help the situation. See how he was going back home to take a nap? So we'll see. I might have to plant another tree and see if the farmers can actually keep up with the wheat and water another tree. I really didn't want to build another pond right now because it's just another added expense. It looks like we've got enough flour to sell, and but I don't know that our wood situation is getting any better. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and cave, and I can't build a pond until they get back with the money. I'm going to cave and build a pond and have 3 trees and 2 lumberjacks, and I think that combination will get me set for a while. And this is an optional thing. I'm doing all of this because I decided to put one more windmill over here. Okay, so it will be a costly expansion, but I still think we're fine, and you'll see on the on that we're gonna have to build a warehouse, which is 10,000, and but by the time you build a wind turbine and a worker, maybe 2 wind turbines and 1 or 2 workers, then your total will probably be about 20,000 for all of that. And then we're going to have at some point a lumber mill, but we don't have to have the lumber mill right away. And if you get in a bind and you can't put your pond and your water pumps for your refinery, you can always get a water facility, and that it needs 3 water though, so be aware of that. And I don't know where it says that, but it needs 3, I think 3 water, 2 or 3 water, I think 3. But he will use a well, so if you put him over here and he's only getting 1 water, he will get some from the well. That's not necessarily ideal. Now he does have to be by a road, so I could in theory move this and put it there. He doesn't affect your crops. But I'm not going to use the water facility. I'm just saying, if you don't have the money to build those water pumps, then you could go that route. But the way I'm going to work these funds, I think we're going to be fine. So we'll see. We don't have, of course we don't have unlimited funds, but I think we'll be fine. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build this pond. I'm going to make another tree here, and then after I sell, I'm not going to activate it until after that pond is ready, but then after I sell flour once again, I will go ahead and build another windmill over here. I think by then I'll be having enough excess wood that I can do that, and then we'll work on the gas production. It'll just be a little bit faster or a little bit less time between sales if I do that. And what I could do is put a road across there if I wanted to speed them up, and some of their speed the lumberjacks up and some of their running around. But I don't know if I'm going to spend the extra $3,000 or $4,000 to do that. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be back. Alright guys, I feel like I have to see this through on getting another windmill over here, and that might be to my detriment as far as the town goes, but now I'm like obsessed with it. So these two are doing fine. but if you notice, we have 2 wood. So this isn't the boom that I had hoped it would be. Even if we stopped one or both of these long enough to get 5 wood to build this, when we turn them all back on, obviously, since there is no wood surplus, we're not at a point where we could really reasonably sustain 3 windmills with this production. So what I have decided to do, sort of almost against my better judgment, but like I said, I'm sort of obsessed with it at this point. I'm going to build one more pond here, and then what I'll end up doing is I'll remove this and put a tree. So then with this pond, this one will need 1 water, and this one will need 1 water, and these 2 will not need any extra water. And then probably what I'll do, just to maybe make the town a little more efficient, and it might not help at all, I don't know, but I might go ahead and remove that and go ahead and put a road straight through, and then put a couple of wheat patches over here. So I'll end up removing this one and this one and put them over here, but I'll put a road along here so that it's not really going to affect production very much. And if it turns out that the wheat production is lacking once I get this other one in place, I don't believe that it will be, but if it is, then I could always just put a little road right here and delete that one and put a wheat field here, or just leave that one and have 3 across here. So anyway, there are all kinds of options, and again, if you're in the desert, are you really going to be faced with all this dilemma and drama? But it's good to see the worst case, and then you know that you can do the other ones quite easily. So unless they change this, they have just made the change while they're on the break from the weekly competition, and so I just noticed it the other day when I'm on the monthly server, but when it reset, I saw that there was a storehouse. So I was like, oh, I don't need a storehouse I don't need to build a storehouse in order to raise sheep and get the wool. So that's like if you're doing a sheep rush and you have like a wheat stand NFT, that's like a really, really huge help in getting started with that. Then you don't have to self-feed as much like you used to. So anyway, maybe I'll do a video on that if there's interest. Otherwise, this starting video should help you guys figure out how to get started if you don't know how. So anyway, I will be back in a few minutes, but that's my plan. I want to take this and be able to go ahead and plant one more tree. I may end up needing another lumberjack, so I'll need to remove one of those 3 and put a lumberjack over there. And those aren't that pricey, so it'd be $2,500 plus 300, 2,800 is all that would end up costing. This other stuff I'm doing is costing way more, and some of it probably isn't even necessary, but it's what I've decided to do. So I'll be back. Alright guys, I did not put another tree here, And you see though that we are doing fine with the wood now. So what I want to do is go ahead and put put a windmill right here, and ideally I would like to put finish the road from there. I just haven't yet because I don't want to run too low on funds. So once he gets this built and we get it running, if wood is a problem, then I can go ahead and put another tree there and perhaps also add another lumberjack if it turns out that we need one. So we'll see, but the town itself, even without adding this other one, now that I've made these modifications, it's running much more effectively than it was. So that in itself is good, but ideally I'd like to get 3 and look at this. You see how the wheat, when they're carrying it in the town, it looks blue and white, and when you load it on your truck, it looks blue and white just that same way. But when you look up here, this is and I'm calling this wheat. This is the flour, okay? And when you look and you're ready to sell it, it is red and white, and but when you see it being carried around your town, it is blue and white. And if you guys have played any amount of time, you've probably noticed that, and you're just like, so what? But when I first started playing, that kind of threw me a little bit, because if I looked over here to see how much flour I had, I was expecting it to be a blue and white icon instead of a red and white one. So that really doesn't make any difference. It doesn't affect the game, and it's been that way since I started playing. But just wanted to throw that out there in case anybody is new, that that can be a little bit confusing. Typically, the little picture that you see over here is going to be the same as what you see them, or pretty similar to what you see them carry around town. But in the case of flour, it just isn't. And I don't know why, but it doesn't matter why. Just be aware, if you're new, that that is the case, and then you can, in a glance, know what you have when you're ready to sell, and it won't be confusing. Not that most average intelligence people could probably figure that out without a problem. I know that I did, but like I say, at the beginning I was like, oh, what? I'm not showing wheat over or flour over here, but I know I'm making it. But yeah, see, it absolutely doesn't. In fact, that's almost like what I would imagine in my mind sugar looking like. But the sugar is blue-green, I think. It's been a minute since I've actually created any of this stuff, and I have forgotten about the flour, so I just thought I'd throw that out. Now, this is finally ready, and so, oops, no, we don't want to cancel that. And so we want to, yeah, this is what the sugar looks like, and the salt. The flour's on the one that is different in the two places. But anyway, now we will do let's see, we have 4, so we only need 6 more to do. I think I can get away with putting a couple of pieces of road here, but I might regret that and have to sell some wheat. So just watch and see. I'll let you know if I end up having to sell wheat, and I probably could have calculated that more carefully, but at this point in my build, I'm getting a little sloppy, maybe getting a little tired, but this should help speed us up a little bit anyway. And the fact that before they're even over here to pick the trees, that we got 3 trees ready is a good sign. These 2 now, with the addition of this pond, do not have to be watered, and this one just needs 1 water. So our trees are a delight now instead of a detriment. So that's good. I will be back. If it turns out that I don't have to do any intervention, I don't have to sell any wheat, and I can just keep going and sell flour, then I'm probably not going to come back until I get ready to build my pond down here, and then I'll pop in, show you the pond, and keep going. So I'll be back. Okay guys, what I did was I had to go and make my brother some lunch and do a little bit of household chores, and as you see, I let my town run out of money, and it also had 20 flowers. So I don't know how many minutes or whatever I wasted making flour that just got destroyed and whatnot. So just so you know, I sort of had a little setback here on my town. I don't think that's going to make it impossible, though, to do what we need to do. And like I said, worst case scenario, you guys can see, if you don't already know how to actually get a gasoline producing town without having power plants. And so that's probably something that I am going to work on. So what I want to do is, now that I've got the money, I want to first build a pond here, and then this pond will attach to my water pumps, or my water pumps will attach to that pond, however you want to look at it. So what we're going to do is probably put our we want to put our lumber mill on this side of the like I'll have a power plant right here. So we want to put our lumber mill over here because it's not going to affect that. But we also need a warehouse, and the warehouse is going to be where we're going to put our energy that we will need for our what do you call those? Refineries. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to end up putting I'm bad about forgetting what the heck I'm doing, so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put 2 pieces of road here, and then I'll know, okay, I'm going to have my warehouse here, and I'm going to have my lumber mill right here. But I'm not building a lumber mill right now. because I think what I want to do is make this town sustainable without power plants, just to kind of show you guys that we can do that, in case you haven't had to experience it. But this way is more affordable as far as starting out with gas production. If you're low on money, or you're doing something that doesn't make a lot of money. Now the thing about it is we are not going to want to produce, like I much prefer, and I don't know why, it's just something, a hang up that I have, having the water pumps in place and not having to create a water facility. But that is doable, and I think we discussed it earlier. If I was going to do one, I would probably put it right here, or maybe remove one of these wells now that we've got our water going really well, and just put it right here. And they will take it to whatever warehouse or warehouses you have, so that's not an issue. It just would maybe slow them down a little bit with it being far away and maybe not having a road to run on, but it doesn't hurt anything. So keep that in mind. If you don't have the money even for the water pumps, you can use a water facility. And I think some people were confused about getting like a Mr. Puddles, because Mr. Puddles says that it does water for, let me see if it actually says on it what it, okay, like if you look at info, it just says you must place, okay, anyway, I think Mr. Puddles says that it's for like farming and for business type buildings. However, one thing that you can notice is Mr. Puddles will take, as far as industrial things, Mr. Puddles will take water to the water facility, which is what actually creates the water drums, but he won't take water to, say, like your refinery or your power plant. They still have to, you still have to use the water facility to create water drums, and then the workers within those facilities will go and grab the water drums. So just keep that in mind, because I think somebody was posting in the comments that, you know, they couldn't get Mr. Puddles to work, and that is something that I don't think they were understanding about Mr. Puddles. Is, yes, he does industrial type buildings, but it's only for the water facility, which in turn creates the water drum, and they still have to do it. So like I've said in the past, Mr. Puddles is not extremely effective, but they have improved, I think, the programming on him a little bit, so he's a little bit better. But if I had him out right now and only have one well, he would probably get it every other time, and then I'd still have to wait on the slow jinky to go and fetch the water. So it really, you know, it's not that big of a savings or anything. But okay, so what I'm going to do is, as soon as he gets done, since I only have one worker, I can add another worker, but I'm not in a rush for any of this. So once he gets done with that, I'm going to go ahead and put in a warehouse. And once I put in the warehouse, I'm going to go ahead and start a few wind turbines. And what I want to do is, I haven't really analyzed it yet, but I want to look around and say, okay, now if I've got my refinery right here and my power plant here, and then I've got a power plant here and another refinery, say here or here, then how is the wind block going to work? So I want to be sure that I look out really only for the refineries. And the reason why I say that is because by the time I get a power plant going, whether it be this one or this one, if I need energy, I can, because of the no need for having crude oil, this is the automatic, then I don't need to worry about wind block on the wind turbines, because I'm going to be able to get rid of all the wind turbines and all the workers, because I don't need workers to carry crude oil from the oil pumps, because I've got my automatic one there. And if you don't know, it counts 4 crude oil, 3, 2, and 1. So as long as you've got a refinery within 3 spaces of your oil seep, then you can do that. And you want to also have a power plant within that if you want it to create your free energy. So that is kind of where we are right now. I could go ahead and put in an oil pump, but it's not going to do me any good without energy, because I meant a water pump, and then put in my refinery. But I can't run the refinery without energy, so I might as well go ahead and set that up first. Makes sense? Just so everybody knows my train of thinking that is dictating this critical path here. And so what I want to do is go ahead and set up some wind turbines also for that. So I'm going to count out, and I'll come back and show you where I've put them. And most likely, if I wanted to put one there and there was a cactus there, I would just put it beside it somewhere, because here's the thing, I'm not going to put one there, but here's the thing, wind turbines count 2 shade for your crops, so you have to have 2 away from that. And they also are affected by wind block, so they have to be, like from this building, it'd have to be 2 away. And if I'm going to put a lumber yard there, if I think I might be running a wind turbine at the same time that I'm building that, or that I'm trying to run that, then I'm going to want it 2 away from my lumber mill. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take a look and see where I want my wind turbines and where I want my workers to be. And I'll probably just put the workers up here in our, remove a couple of these and put a couple of workers. So I'll be right back once I have my wind turbines set up and get my workers and have everything going for energy. I'll show you what I've done, and you can do, depending on which map you got, you can do something similar or something that works for the map you have. Alright guys, let me show you what I have done. I have set up some wind turbines that are in fairly close proximity to my warehouse, and but they don't interfere with one another as far as wind block. Also, I set up a couple of workers to go and fetch the energy from the wind turbines and put it in the warehouse. And so that's going, and it's going well, no issues. Okay, so what I want to do here, now that I have enough cash, I have been selling my flour, and what I did was I added one more lumberjack, and I don't know if I showed that or mentioned it or whatever, but when I added the workers, I went ahead and added a lumberjack, I think, so that it's not that I didn't have enough wood production, but it's like when this comes empty, then I've got 3 lumberjacks and it needs 3 pieces of wood, so then they can go ahead and fill that one up and then move on to the next one and the next one as needed. So that's what we're doing there. Okay, so here what we want to do is we want to add a water pump, and this water pump is going to facilitate the lumber mill that we put here. That'll need one water. I'm going to put a refinery here, and I'll end up putting another water pump there. So this refinery will be making petroleum initially, because there's no need in building 2 refineries when we're not even using it. So it will do that, petroleum, and when I have a power plant here, it will provide power to that refinery and that lumber mill. Okay, so, and this is where I'm going to put the paved road piece to for the power plant and the refinery. Okay, so that'll be a paved road piece. So this little production here, once I get that far, will be able to run petroleum and the lumber mill without any additional energy. But the plan is to have another water pump here, and then for the other refinery, probably I want to put one right here, because if I have a water pump here, then that means this will be my power plant, and then this right here can be the paved road for both of those. So I was saying that I was doing it this way to get away from all the removal of that, but really I didn't. So that was just wishful thinking on my part. So what I want to do, though, is when I have the money, go ahead and remove this scrub and put a paved road here, and then go ahead and put a refinery here. Then I will go ahead and start the refinery making petroleum, which shouldn't be very much of a burden at all, because I've already ramped up my energy production, and so I've got 2 workers. These guys ought to be able to keep up without any effort with one. Um, it only takes 2 energy to make the petroleum, so with them keeping up with that should not be a problem, and you'll see that here in a moment. But I'll come back when I have enough funds to do that. Probably I'll need like 26,000 because you have to start with a dirt road and then you upgrade it to pave. So that's I think that's like 11,000, and then 15 for the refinery. So I'll need that much extra. So probably when I gather that much, but not from not in total. So in other words, I'll take my 15 that I have and then add the 26 or 25 more to that, so that'll be what is that, 40,000. So when I get about 40,000, or actually when I get 10 more, I'll probably go ahead and make the paved road piece and then save up and calculate from the refinery. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm probably not going to come back because I know I've been rambling and this is going to be long, so just know that that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a piece of paved road here, and let me go ahead and you have to start with a dirt road, and since there's no road that I can put it next to, so then now I can just upgrade it when I'm ready to do that, and I'm not ready right now. So that's going to be my power plant and my refinery, but I'm not going to worry about the power plant. Of course, I'd have to do a lumber mill before I can do that. So what I'm I wish I could poll you guys and say, what would you rather see? What I might go ahead and do is, it's so much easier if you go ahead and at least do one power plant, but I would kind of like for you guys to see that you can run it all without any power plants. So maybe I'll just go ahead and save up for another water pump and show you, even if it's just running off of one refinery, run that and show you. And I'm about to sell right now. He's bringing the 10th one, so I'm going to go ahead then and make this into a paved road, and probably, see, when he gets back that'll be about 26K. Yeah, probably about one more sale and I'm going to go ahead and build a refinery. So I don't see any real need to show that, so I'll come back when it's built and show you guys how easy it is to do the petroleum, and then we're going to go with gas from there. So I'll be back. Alright guys, I was getting a little bit ahead of myself earlier. I don't think I mentioned it, and I don't think I thought of it at the time, but if I'm going to have gas production back here and I'm going to be doing it the manual way with these guys fetching their own energy, let's just start this guy up. Okay, so we're going to be crafting petroleum to start until we get maybe about 10 of them. So what I've done is built a fuel storage back here so that they don't have far to run for that, and they don't really have that far to run for the energy either. So this when you're doing it the manual way like I am now, this is it's not a must, but it's a very nice to have if you can build a fuel storage, because if they have to, especially when you start dealing with the gasoline where they've got to carry 6 energy into there, because if he had to run it all the way up here and drop off the petroleum, then the other guy has to run all the way up and get the petroleum and then drop off the gas. Anyway, it's a much longer process, it seems to me. So what I want to do is, for just a little bit, we're going to be making some petroleum. But then we'll be turning it over to gasoline. And when I do the gasoline, what I might end up doing is, first of all, I want to be able to put another water pump right here. And so that's going to be $50K. Luckily, you don't need a road or anything for that. But then when we make gas, and he's going to be using 6, it's nice if you have like a lot of energy coming in. So what I might do is, I've counted over, and these two have 2 back, and then so I could put one here and put one over here. On the other side, doing it over here, I don't have 2 that I could give. Now I could still do 2, and then like, let's see, on the side 2, I could still put one here, and then probably put one here, because that's you just need 3 for that. So, you know, I could put one here and put one over here. That just kind of spreads us out farther and whatnot. So probably I'm just going to put them over here. But what I might do is, even though it's a little bit pricey, $10K to remove that, I'll probably make my road come out sort of so that you can get to these more quickly and get the energy back to the warehouse more quickly. But the full benefit of having those 2 extra will become apparent when we actually end up creating the second refinery. That this one that we're going to put here will be entirely for, or it will be for petroleum, and then this one will be for the gasoline. So we need, first we're going to go with the second water pump, and then I'll probably go ahead and just remove these and put a paved road here, so that I can go ahead and put the other refinery in. And after I get all that settled, I'll probably build out my or the energy production. But here's the thing, I don't know entirely if I need more energy. So probably what we'll do is get this set up, and then if it turns out that we're running out of energy by running petroleum and gasoline at the same time, well, that's when we'll appropriate the funds to build that out a little more. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. The next step is going to be when I have what I feel like is enough funds. My next step is going to be the other water pump, and once I get that built, I will stop the petroleum and start the gas production. And if I get like, I don't know, 25 or 30 petroleum done in that amount of time, that'd be all right. It will it will be fine. But right now, without that other water pump, I I would need a water facility in order to make gasoline, and I don't want to use that. And if I were to get more than or get 40, I would definitely just stop this until I could change it to make gas, because the point of having another fuel storage is to not have them run all the way to the front, and it obviously only holds 40. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't think we're going to get that far, but I'm just explaining, if you did, that's what I would be doing in that case. So it looks like probably I'll just wait for 2 sales of flour, and then I'll go ahead and build that. And that way I won't have to worry about running out of money. I could probably do it after the next one, because that would leave me like about 15K, but I'll probably just wait and just make absolutely sure that I don't mess up, because nothing really is in a major hurry or panic. I can sell flour 13 more times before I run out of gas. So I think we're all set. I think we're gonna get this going with no problem. So I'll be back. Okay guys, so what I have been doing is just selling the flour. Still have 11 gasoline left, so 11 more sales before I'm really out of gas. But I'm making it a point, let me stop this guy, to go ahead and get the gasoline going, so I don't have to think about it anymore. You wouldn't necessarily have to get yours going this quickly, but if you want to, great. If you don't, that's also okay. You can experiment with it and see what works, or you could just do it the easy way and do it this way, or if you can crunch numbers and figure out different things, well then you could go that route too. But basically I'm going to have a power plant here eventually, and I'm also going to have one right here eventually. So this will be my paved road, and then this is going to be our other refinery, and I talked about that earlier. So when I have enough funds in the bank, what I want to do is delete these 2 cactus and make a paved road here, and then we'll be able to go ahead and put in our other refinery. So that's where we are. I'm going to pause here and come back in a bit, and I might go go ahead and get all this set up before I come back. I'm trying to keep up with the town and do chores around the house, so and this video is getting long, so I'm probably just going to go ahead and do those when I can and then come back. So I'll be back. Alright guys, I noticed that I haven't really been paying close attention here, but I did notice that I was out of energy, so I went ahead and I stopped this for a few minutes because I was way ahead on petroleum, and so that's not a problem. But I went ahead and made my little road back here and added these two wind turbines, and I added one more worker. So we're doing good. Getting ahead of the curve on the gasoline and selling flour, and all is well in this town. And I will be back. I think probably what I'll do is just let the town run and build up some cash, and then I'm going to put a lumber mill here, and probably a not a lumber yard, but a woodshed. Right, I'll just go ahead and put that. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. Let me cancel that. I don't want to do it because these guys will fill it up with wood, and I'm going to put it there for the lumber mill. So anyway, I'm going to put one there, and I'm going to put that lumber mill where I just said, and then once I create some lumber with my lumber mill, I'm going to make a power plant here and a power plant here. So I've got quite a lot to save up for. I've got enough for the lumber mill, but also, like I say, I want a power plant that's 100K, another 100K plus 10 to remove that. Let me go ahead and remove that. Alright, so 250K, 55K just for what I want to build. So I need to probably have around 300,000 before I worry about it. So that's what I'm going to do, keep selling flour and building up some money. So I'll be back. Okay guys, so what I have done is I don't know what I've done since since I showed you. I've added a couple more windmills because it was getting slow, and this one here was already yellow. Now it's red, but I don't really care because now I have my one of my power plants, so I can just go ahead and I'm going to let me remove these jokers here first. These little workers are costing me about $50 a minute or something silly like that. Let's see, $60 a minute. Yeah, so I don't need those anymore, and so I think I've got all those out of the way. Now I can get rid of these wind turbines. They're not really costing me anything, but I don't need them anymore. So I can get rid of those, and of course I've got the paths set up in case if I wanted to put some more windmills I could, or whatever, but this isn't gonna sustain too many. Basically I don't know, we're keeping up pretty well with the with everything. So maybe I should. Uh, let's see. I have 58K. I think. Oops. I think I could add another one and be fine. You just need to watch your finances. But this is like 1, 2, 3. So that's just enough space. I could potentially 1, 2, 3. If I put one here, then 1, 2, 3. It would be just out of range of that one, so I could do that as well. But I'm probably not going to do that right at this minute because I don't want to run out of money. Maybe I will after I sell this. But here's the thing: I didn't lay it out in such a way that that I could sustain this inevitable or for long term. So basically, what you could be doing is once you have all your power set up down here for your and I've got this turned off for your gasoline production, then you could go ahead and be figuring out what it is that you want to raise or grow or whatever. Like if you want to keep making flour, that's not going to get you in the in the top rankings, but it could get you enough points to be able to collect. Like right now, I didn't realize it was this late, but I can go ahead and place my NFTs and collect my rewards and be done. And I'm about done with this example. I was just showing you guys that now you can start in the desert pretty easily, and so that's what I've done. Is I've started. This was a desert. There's my oil seep, and it was like no problem, not even close now. Just because they give you a storehouse that they used to not give you. So what I'm going to do is I am going to place my NFTs and collect my rewards, and none of these NFTs that I have cause wind block or pollution or anything else. And also I found out the other day, I was showing you guys my my Nor Hero NFT here. Well, I found out that it actually gives passive water. So it works kind of like a pond, or not a pond, like this fountain, but it gives 3, 2, and 1. So if you ever get a chance to buy those, initially they only cost $1,000. Now when I say only cost $1,000, don't don't misinterpret. $1,000 is a substantial amount of money, but it when you compare it to other NFTs, um, it could feel like a discount. And okay, there for a second I was not sure why my numbers are off, but I have a couple of express depots that I want to place. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, like, share, and subscribe. And guys, give me a comment if there's something else that you want to see as far as the starting. But now, like I say, now that they have given us a storehouse to starting is you're able to start without any NFTs on the desert, the plains, and the forest without any problem. And if you don't believe that, then rewatch this video. So I'll talk to you guys later. Like I say, leave me some comments and let me know what's up, what you want to see, and whatnot. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.